ladies. It is so good to see you today. I hope you're ready to unleash your inner warrior because we have a workout today. It's going to have some HIIT, so we're going to be doing strength, we're going to be doing cardio. HIIT's just high intensity interval training, which means that we are going to go as hard as we can for 20 seconds and then we get a 10-second rest. We do that 8 times in a row for one exercise, and then we'll do it again with 2 other exercises. Of course, we're going to warm up beforehand and then we'll cool down afterwards, but what you'll have is a complete workout in a short amount of time that will be a great calorie burn for the next up to 2 days, which is just crazy. Anyway, in order to prep for this, all you need is your mat. I would have some water available. Mine's sitting up there because I want you to be drinking as much water as possible. And if you're one of those that likes your electrolytes in your water, then by all means, pause the video, grab yourself your electrolytes, put it in your water, and then get ready to work out. So starting here on our mat, we find those sits bones sitting up nice and tall. We're just going to take just a moment to really check in to make sure that we are ready to focus, because you have to focus to do a good job and to be safe when you're doing these hits. So in order to get our breath ready and focused, we're going to inhale out of our stomach, I mean everywhere, like all the way around. We want as much air as possible. Then we're going to exhale it all back out, pulling up on the pelvic floor, pulling into the core, pulling into that spine, and then we inhale again, filling it all up like a big balloon, and then we exhale it all back out. So do that a couple more times. Notice how your shoulders naturally start to lift and come back. You naturally start to sit up taller because that's the way the body is designed to take in air, so we want to breathe to our advantage. So inhaling and then exhaling. And if you feel like letting a loud exhale, more power to you. It actually feels really good and it's very detoxing too. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling. Then we're going to start moving with this. So just shifting from side to side, hands can rest on your knees. And we're just starting to enliven the spine, wake up that spine so that we can move it without having to be concerned for injuries. Moving it side to side like a snake. We can walk those hands forward. Well, I like to continue to move like a snake even while I'm moving forward. And back up. We can take our right hand to the right side, lift the left arm up in front, and then up and over. Working with the body instead of against, lowering that arm. Place that to the left side. Right arm lifts up first, and then over if it feels good. Stretching. If you hear a pop, as far as I know, pops are fine as long as it's not painful. That's what we really want to avoid, is pain. Anytime you feel pain in your joints, especially when you're doing hits, very not good. Very not good. I want to emphasize this. We do not want to feel anything in our joints here. So if you're feeling something in your joints, then you need to back off. Think about bending the knees or the elbows or whatever it is a little bit more so that you can focus the work into the muscles. That's the goal here. We want all the work happening in the muscles. So now we're going to come on to hands and knees, continuing in our warm-up. And from here you can see my elbows are bent. They're kind of coming in towards my rib cage because that's the positioning that I need for safe shoulders. So then I'm just going to play with it. I'm going to grab the floor. Notice the feeling of the floor so that I feel stable. My muscles are engaged. I check in with my knees. I want my knees beneath the hip joint right here. And then my toes, personally, I like them turned under, but we're all different depending on your own feet. So whatever feels better for you as far as your feet are concerned right now, that's totally fine. So then just playing with it, shifting with it. Then we're going to start moving from side to side, again getting into that spinal column, warming the vertebrae up all the way. And then we're going to shift the spine up a little bit. So the spine comes up while our core pulls up and in. And then we're going to lower it down. So we never want to just throw our spine up and down. We're controlling it by pulling up with the core and then allowing the core to relax a little, but still holding in place. So I'm still actually holding my rib cage up to ensure that I don't overbend my back. One more time, up and down. Now from here, We're gonna, if the toes are not turned under, we're gonna turn them under. And then we're gonna just play with this and lift the knees a little bit, see how that feels. Maybe shift the weight back a little bit off of our upper body. And you can see I'm just playing with it. I'm warming up the legs, and now I'm gonna extend it out a little bit more. So now it's like I'm coming back in and forth, or going forth towards a plank, and then coming back into a cat-cow. Forward, back, forward, backward. Working the motion so that I can really get into those joints. And I'm warming up the muscles at the same time. Now I'm lifting all the way up into a down dog. Again, shifting with the legs, playing with it. I want to be able to feel that I have control over what's happening. And at this point, you're probably already warmed up enough such that you may not be able to breathe in and out through your nose, and that's totally fine. When we're doing our HIITs, we're probably going to be breathing in and out through our mouth, whatever it takes to get as much oxygen as possible. So don't worry about your breath, just make sure that you're getting enough oxygen. We're going to bend our knees, bring the weight back, and then looking forward, we're going to step or hop halfway in between where we were to where our hands are. Now we're in a forward fold, bending those knees, really shifting into the legs. Have fun with it. This really does feel good, so enjoy the movement. You can hear me already exhaling out. Then from here, I'm going to grab the floor with my feet. I'm going to bend my knees, really control the muscles in the lower legs and the upper legs. Shoot the hips back a little bit, coming up towards a chair. And then lifting up to standing. Allowing the shoulders to lift up and back, shake out the body. And our first HIIT is actually going to be what we did just now. That was our chair. We're actually going to do chair pose. For 8 rounds, we're going to go down into a chair, like this, down, and then we're going to fist our hands up like this. Bring the elbows in towards our rib cage. Fist to fire, out to the side. Then we come forward and down. The hips always going back. Our core is strong and stable, so really notice how you can help to stabilize your spine by pulling that core in when you come down, and then lift up. Now here's the fun part. You go as slow or as fast as you want. You look at that 10-second rest in between each 20-second work. And then we'll play with it, and as we go along, I'll show you some other options to add to it once you've gotten your rhythm. So, hope you're ready. I'm going to set my timer because I do not trust myself to watch a clock. So timers are definitely a good thing here. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're coming down into our first chair, and then we lift it back up. Down and up. Down and up. So you can see I'm really stabilizing those legs. First rest already. Shake that out. Whatever it takes for you to feel gets a little breath break in here. Second round. We're coming down into our chair and then lifting up. Now you can have fun. Once you get that rhythm and your legs are really getting warm, that's when you get to start playing with it. So you can start speeding it up. But you're already at your next break. See how quickly they go by? But I wouldn't suggest doing this and talking at the same time. Not easy. So we're coming back into our chair. Third round already. We're almost halfway there. Now I want to introduce something fun. If you like, you can stick that pelvis forward when you lift up. You'll feel a stretch through the front of the legs. And it helps to strengthen the pelvis so that you don't stick it too far back when you come down into your chairs. 4 more rounds. Here we go. And up, and up, up. Almost done with this one. And you can hear me. This is a challenge, no matter how many times you do this. It's a challenge. So, stretching it again in and out. You can always grab onto a fireplace if you have one. All right, here we go. So when I'm coming up, I'm really squeezing into those glutes. 3 left. Whew. And this is just the first round. Start wondering, why am I doing this to myself, right? We're coming back down. So why are we doing this? Here's the cool thing. Here's the cool reason why we're doing this. We are building muscle that we just can't build when we're going slow. 2 rounds left. When we're doing this fast pace, we're building not just endurance here, we're building our heart, we're building our lungs, we're building strength. Now, so this is our second to last already. On the last one, I'm going to show you something really fun. It's a real challenge, which is why I left it to last. I'm getting sweaty. Hope you are too. One left. Shake that out. You will feel this in your quads tomorrow. All right, for this last one, we're going to give you a little challenge here. So we're coming down. Now try lifting the heels up. Lift the heels when you stand up. All right, we got 10 seconds left. If you feel like it, you can start hopping with it. Oh my gosh, the hops are killers. But we're done with that one. So, we take a breather here. It's so much easier when you're not talking and doing this at the same time. So, taking a breather here. Whatever you need to move around to get feeling back in the legs, go ahead and do that. And again, the quadricep stretch like this, always useful, always a good idea. If you want to pull back into a dancer pose, just kind of make sure that you're working into it, that you're not compromising the stability in the lower back. Shake that out. And I'm doing the other side, make sure I'm balanced. Then I'm going to grab a drink. But here's the key. We want to get back into our second shred because we don't want our heart rate to go that far down. We will lose the momentum and the calorie burn. All right, hope you're ready for the next one. So now we're going to come down onto our mat. Our focus is going to be upper body. Obviously, we were just doing lower body. So now we're focusing on upper body. Let me get my timer. Okay. So what we got here are everybody's favorites, mountain climbers. So our hands are stable. Again, think about this being stable to the ground such that if you press away against it, you can leap yourself up and off. We always want to be able to spring off of the ground, which is why we cannot be long and straight in our limbs. We have to be able to spring. Okay, so from here, we're going to bring our legs back into a mountain climber. Let me make sure my shirt's tucked in. So we're going to spring ourselves back into a plank. But here's the thing, with this plank, we want to be able to move it. We don't want a straight plank where if we start to move a leg, the whole body just falls apart. We want to be able to keep the upper back, the spinal column in a straight, stable place, okay? So we're going to be here, which means our knees might be a little bent, and that's okay, so that when we come into our mountain climber, you can see my back doesn't have to shift a lot. in order to get that mountain climber. With the upper body, we always have that tendency to compress our wrists, and that's not good. It's very painful. So if you need to, anytime, you can take your thumb and your index finger, place it around your wrist, and just shake out that wrist. And that will help to decompress the wrist. Also, when we're doing this, think about having a nice angle, an easier angle in the wrists, which means that your shoulders stay down and back. And you can see when I do that, the shoulder blades are flat on my back, and I engage my back to hold my body up rather than my arms, okay? So, here we go. You can go my speed, you can go faster, you can go slower. Whatever works the best for you. 8 rounds. So here we go. Just bring the knees in towards the chest. At the first round, you just take your time to make sure you know the movement, that you feel safe and stable. 1 round done. Come back on your heels. Interlace the hands up above your head. Shake out the wrists. Here we go again. Next round. Knees up. You're welcome to pick up speed as much as you like. And I may, as we go through, but remember you have 8 rounds. So you don't necessarily want to give it your all right at the beginning, because you do want to be able to make it through the 8. However, if you find that you're only able to make it through the first 4, and that you just have to rest during the next 4, that's totally fine. Because in the end, you'll build the strength that you'll need to do this the more you do it, okay? So this isn't a one-time thing. 3 down. Remember, our health is a journey. It's not something that we just suddenly find, we wake up in the morning, oh my gosh, I'm healthy now. No, it just doesn't work that way. And it's a daily thing, it's daily choices that we make on what we eat, on how we move, on what we think. That's what makes us healthy individuals. Gotta love that rest period. On my timer, the blue period is rest, and I love seeing that blue screen come up. All right, here we go. We are halfway there already on these. Pulling in that core. Three left. So we're pulling in the core the whole time we're doing it. That will help us to keep that spine stable, keep us able to do these indefinitely. So you can always speed it up if you feel like it. Allowing your breath to keep pace with your movement. Two left. Other possibilities are if it's just getting too intense for you, or if you're just not that strong yet, then simply moving the knees back, or bringing the knees up and in. As long as you're still pulling in with your core, you're still having the same effect. And if that version from knees is enough to wear you out, then remember, you're working just as hard as somebody who's on their toes that are pushing to their limit. Wherever our limit is, that's where we want to work. So I'm being real careful here to hold my core up and in, that belly button nice and tight. And done. So shake it out. Again, shake out those wrists. Bring the arms behind. Just for a moment, notice how amazing you feel. That is a lot of work. What you've just been doing is hard, but it's totally worth it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love the way you feel. Okay, so just for a moment, we're gonna come to our hands and knees, bring our feet back a little bit, turn those toes under, lift up into a down dog, shake out the legs, and then look towards our hands, step or hop to the top of the mat, shake the hips back and forth, press the feet into the floor, and then we pull up with our core, so we're stabilizing with the core as we lift to standing, allow the arms to come down to the side, and then we'll just do some twists here. Just shake it out, we have one shred left. Let's bring the arms a little up and over. Now notice, since I'm bringing the arm out to the side, I'm externally rotating so that I'm moving or shifting the shoulder joint and getting the shoulder blade out of the way. Otherwise, we always want to bring the arms up the front and then let them come down to the side. All right, you ready for your last one? This one is going to be all about the core. So, we're going to come back onto the floor. I'm going to need a drink. Hold on. We're going to come back to the floor. And if you have a bony tailbone or anything like that, you can always grab an extra mat or roll up the mat that you're on. Or I like to actually grab a Pilates mat. That's really nice to lay on here. Whatever it takes to be comfortable. Our hands are going to come behind our thighs. Then we tilt the pelvis under, which allows us to safely roll onto our back. So we've got bicycles. We're going to do bicycles, but we're doing them shred style. So we're focusing on speed and quality, quality being more important than speed. The shoulder is going to go to the opposite knee, and then we switch sides. We're going to take our hands and release the fingers, place them behind our head, creating a little nest for our head to rest in. And then we're going to really pull the belly button down and in towards the spine to safely protect the core and strengthen the core. And then we're going to start. So I'm going to go ahead and start my timer. We're doing 4 of these, and then we'll do 4 rounds of one other exercise. So here we go. Lifting the arm up and over to the other side, shifting. You can tap the floor with your toes if that works good, well for you. And rest. What we do want to avoid is the pulling up of the head. That's a big tendency, especially as you get tired, to just pull the head up. Not a good idea. Keep the head pressed into the hands. All right, here we go, second round. Now I'm going to go ahead and lift my feet. And rest. Stretch it out. Use these pauses as luxurious little breaks. And here we go, third round. Try to speed up a little bit. And now think about kicking your heels out. So we're twisting with each of these moves. But remember, the quality is more important than the quantity. Stretch it. All right, last round. Almost there. All right, rest that out. Next round, fingers and hands in the same position, but the legs are going to be long, and we're just doing crunches up. So shoulder blades are lifting. Here we go. You'll feel this great crunch happen here. The abs are still pulling in to protect the spine. Three rounds left. Stretch it out. Here we go. So you give your all for that 20 seconds, and then you completely rest it out during the 10. Don't try to work through that 10 because it's not going to help your body at all. 2 rounds left. One round left, and you better be sweaty because I sure am, and I don't want to be the only one nasty here. Here we go, last time through. You can totally make this. You can totally rock this. Remember, we're unleashing that fierce inner warrior here. You're done. Doesn't that feel amazing? To be done with a really challenging workout. All right, so from here, we're not getting up. We're just gonna hang out here. So first we stretch those arms back, up above. Stretch the feet as far away as possible. Breathing deeply. And I want you to breathe, and then when you exhale, sigh it out. Then from here, take those arms out to the side, bend the knees, lift your feet up, and then just shift those legs, windshield wiper the legs from side to side. And this feels so good. All right. So from here, we're just going to open our knees out, bring the soles of the feet together just for a moment, shake the legs from side to side. Then lengthen out the legs. We're going to walk both legs over towards the right. Lift the arms up above the head and move the arms over towards the right. Take a breath. And then release that. Walk the legs over to the other side. Take a breath. We're stretching the whole side of the body. And walk the legs back into center. Roll your wrists, roll your ankles, whatever feels good. And then if there's anything else you want to stretch out, go right ahead. Or you can adjust your hips a little bit by just pressing the hip joint a little bit away from the body, so you're actually kind of pressing the hip joint away. Release the legs out. Allow the arms to come out to the side, palms up, and then just melt into the floor. So we'll take a few breaths here. Inhaling through your mouth or through your nose. And then exhaling out your mouth with a sigh. 2 more like that. And now, you just go ahead and stay here as long as you want to. You can take your time. You can always set your timer so that you don't spend too much time comfortably on the floor. It can happen. You can fall asleep. But go ahead and rest until you're ready to get up. And then whenever you do, you just gently lift one knee up to the sky, roll over to the opposite leg. Press your hands down so you're walking your way back up to come to seated. Always taking your time when you're coming up off the floor. Know that things have shifted around. And then just from that last moment, roll your shoulders, roll your spine out. Take a breath. And I hope that you have enjoyed this total body workout and that you do feel like you have unleashed your inner warrior. So it is time to get up off our mat, go back into the world, take whatever you found inside, bring it with you as you go. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm pumped up to see you next time. Have a great one.